Hello peoples of the internet and welcome to Titan Gaming. Today I'm going to be answering a request from Vortex Airsoft team to build the Normandy from Mass Effect 3. And if everything goes well, we could put it into the survival series by using a projector and building it and stuff. But anyway, let's see how it pans out. And this time I will do a voiceover of what's going on, because I think that's what the previous Minecraft Let's Builds lacked. So I'll explain what I'm doing at the time and all the technical details and stuff. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, to start off here, we've got me just putting down what will be the base of the ship. And I tried to make the measurements accurate. So I found a picture on the internet of the Normandy with measurements on it. Totally accurate. And yeah, that's the size I got. I can't quite remember how long it was, but it was very long, and I had to shorten it later because the scale I was working at it didn't quite work. So here I'm shaping out the back of the ship, and I'm doing it in 2D first. I'll come around and make it 3D later. And under here I'm marking out where the hangar would go, and this is one of the nacelles, so to speak, and I'm just marking out how far down that would be and the basic shape of it. And I knew that it wouldn't, I knew that the thing kind of has that kind of shape, but I didn't look at a reference properly, which I did later on when I came back to that, because I have a model of the Normandy. So I started at the front here by mapping out the basic shape of the nose and putting these two fins on, which I later realised were too big compared to the rest of the ship. But it looked fine at this point. Now this is where I kind of screwed up. I tried to gradually make the hull of the ship slope down towards the front, as the Normandy does. And I tried different measurements, incrementing each block by one as I went up, and I finally got what I wanted. But that wasn't even the worst bit. So there I marked out how the shape would go of the hull, and here I did some more basic marking out of the increments between each bit. And I tried lots of different solutions on how to make it more accurate. The sloping and the joining of each increment was probably the most difficult bit, but yeah, I'm just doing that at the back here and shaping out the behind areas. Now I'm using some blocks from the Armored Slope mod here to give the ship more shape, but it really just screwed me over most of the time because they were very difficult to join up. So that's the front bit here, and then this is where I started having troubles because I couldn't join up the the higher bit and the lower bit correctly, and I spent a lot of time just faffing around with that. So I gave up and went back to the back where it was easier and a lot wider, so I had more room for error, so to speak. And there I tried to make a little slope down the bottom. So instead of having square blocks at the bottom, it was just slopes. But I corrected that, and then I did the same mistake there again, because the ship just wasn't matching up right, especially with this bit here, because it just went down twice, making it even harder to join the slopes up. Oh god, that's giving me an epileptic seizure. Not that I have epilepsy, I am terribly sorry for those who have epilepsy, and I hope this doesn't kill you. So here I come back to this bit again, which is just still a pain in the ass. And at this stage I didn't realise about the other blocks in this mod, but I think I did soon. It didn't help much, I don't think. Yeah, here we go. Just trying out all the different blocks to see if they help at all. I don't believe any of them did, but I'm sure better builders and people more familiar with this mod would be able to join these bits up correctly, but I just had no clue what I was doing here. I didn't know how these blocks worked together, and in the end I just kind of went for a basic slope, which didn't make the ship look smooth, but at least it made it look better than with all the blocks sticking out of it, as it did with these bits. Bugger off! Sorry. Skype always gets in the way of recordings. Anyway, so here I screwed myself over again. I had to delete lots of things. Now the worst thing in Space Engineers is when you accidentally delete something and it's not connected to anything, and then you have to go and delete everything on both sides, because otherwise you can't build anything and it will just mirror and not work, if that makes sense. But anyway, here we go again with the slopes, making it increasingly more difficult to build this thing. See, down there was a horrible little corner that just didn't look right, and there's a lot of those moments throughout this build that I'm not happy with, but I just don't know how to correct. Now I think I do eventually come back to that bit down there and correct it. Can't quite remember how long this build took me, but this is at 16 times speed, and it took me several recording sessions to get it done. This whole bit was just a pain. It really was just a pain. Yeah, here I come around trying to slope it off at the bottom, correcting all the mistakes I made before, and now I'm outlining the hangar area. Just coming around, sloping that off, and I did not just say slurping. Totally not just said slurping that off. Anyway, sexual references aside, I just did that thing that I was talking about before, where I deleted a whole column and it just floated away. And here I come again, correcting these bits because they weren't the right size. I still think they're too big, but Space Engineers is very blocky. You can't get everything you want perfect. And now I came round to the nacelles or engines or whatever. Fuck off! And yeah, I still wasn't looking at my model here, and I did do goof. I don't know what that was. Anyway, yeah, just rounding it off and bridging up to make the second or the first larger one, the one closer to the hull. I did make a mistake later on when I was building the engines for these things, because the larger ones have a larger gap at the back, which they don't actually have on the Normandy themselves itself. So I made a mistake, but it didn't look too bad, and I didn't want to change anything, so I just kept it. There I used some colour to mark out where the colour scheme would go, just so I knew if it looked right or not, because the Normandy has different sections of colour. And here I come up to the hull where it joins together, and I can delete the back bit. However, on the Normandy itself, the struts join just below the main hull, connecting to the hangar bay. But here I did do that right, so it's kind of flattened towards the top of the struts. And I extend these bits out to make room for the engines, which was also a pain, the measurements and everything. So the Normandy has these two weird sort of arch bits where the engines go into. Yeah, I didn't do those right. I didn't make the arch properly, because in the Normandy SR2 they're like ovals, but I thought it was more like the SR1 where they're just straight lines. So here I correct that by making them actual rounded circular areas instead of a straight line. And I round them off again. And this is where I cocked up, because I made a smaller bit here but didn't make that on the larger one. And I got these azimuth thrusters, and I tried different configurations on how to put them in. I tried them going sideways, I tried using different ones, but in the end I decided to put them long ways, and I thought it made a nice aesthetic and looked like the Normandy actually did. On the other side it didn't quite mirror properly, so I had to go and correct that. And I put 2 in on the other one, and I put 3 in here because I thought it was a bigger engine, but I realised that 3 can actually fit in the other one, and it would make it look better and more even, which I went back and corrected. And there's me just faffing around with slopes because I made a mistake. Well, because I just can't press buttons properly, mainly. And there's me correcting the engines again. And that moves on to the next recording session, where I tidy up these little areas here because they didn't look right, using different slopes. And I went back to making the overall body of the ship, pressing wrong buttons again, as you do. These bits were alright, they were just simple increments, but it's when it got to joining these 2 bits up that I cocked up, just faffing around doing all that. I must admit, I wasn't really prepared for this build. It was quite a large undertaking, which I didn't realise. I didn't realise I was getting myself into this. And the ship is even too large, because I tried to make the interiors to scale, and they're even too big. But the ship is smaller than the specs that I got. Oh, here I go, just filling in the underside. It's smaller than the specs that I got, but the interior doesn't fit in it. It's too small. But I believe maybe that's because the Normandy has armor plating in between the interior and the exterior. But it shouldn't make it that much bigger, as you'll see later. And here I go again, messing up the slopes. Trying different configurations for the underside. And eventually I decided to make it a bit more square. And I have a break. Oh no, lovely person. Putting in the deck between the hangar and the engineering area. I put in a wall there to simulate the back of the hangar, which I'll come and develop later. Rounding off the hangar, putting in these little walkway areas so I could pretend that the Kodiak's dock there. And I put in these windows because that's the viewing area where you come out the lift. And here I started to put in what the lift would look like. I just made a square room using these interior walls and different walkways, catwalks. And I come around the back of that to start building out the engineering area. Put these stairs in for the under section where it's all red and Jack likes to hang out. Put in these airlocks from the airlock mod. Realised the windows had disconnected and redid that. Then I came around here, where the main engineering area was. Now I didn't have a reference for any of these rooms, I had to go off from memory. I thought I did quite a good job for it being memory, but it doesn't look right. Anyway, I tried different reactors here for the main reactor room. I realised none of them fit the description, as it were. So I just built around it. And I realised at this stage that I'd done goofed, because you can't actually... That generator wouldn't be able to power this ship. And I hadn't hooked it up to anything. I basically screwed up. This ship cannot be used as a survival thing because, well, I can't even move it. It's got a set of thrusters at the back, no gyroscopes. It's got a lot of room in it for gyroscopes, I suppose, because I didn't use up all the room. Just making the underside there, putting some gravity in. Putting this wall here, making some rooms, and filling out the back. Now, I suppose I probably could have put in areas for sort of Jeffrey's tubes. I don't know what they're called in Mass Effect Universe, but basically air vents and stuff. Because I know in Mass Effect 2, Joker has to crawl through them. So I could have used up more space putting those in, but the Normandy's height, I used up most of the Normandy's height, I didn't use its length. So putting in air ducts and stuff would have screwed me over because I wouldn't have enough height to put shepherd's quarters in. And I have enough break. There we go. And I'm just doing the back now. Yeah. These slopey bits were just so annoying. They never look right. I think I do come back and change that. Oh, bit fell away there. Again. Yeah, come back and change that. Putting all these different corners in. And that's the back done, I think. Well, no, the underside not done yet. Just filling that out. Sorry, I've run out of commentary. So professional am I. Have another break, I believe. Again. There we go. Just a bit past me. Another break? Good chance? Good chance to dream? Just, yeah, get on with it. Start working. You lazy bum. Okay, now here I make the fins. Which I forgot about. I didn't realise the Normandy had fins. But it does. It's got 2 fins at the front and a very small one at the... 2 fins at the back and a very small one at the front. Which I also didn't realise until I looked at my mod. And went into the interior to make the hangar bay. Put the doors in for the lifts. And fleshing out the interior again. Making the crew area. That's the lounge where they will sit and... do nothing really. That's all they ever do, nothing. Buttloads of nothing. Making the wall here where the memorial is, and oh god, I can't see what's going on. I am so sorry if you have epilepsy. Okay. Putting more doors in. Making more room. Oh yeah, this is the CIC level now. And that's the alcove with nothing in it. Because there used to be a room there. Putting in these windows for the meeting area. Filling out the walls and stuff. And I put these 2 windows in there, and they're blacked out because you can't see outside. Because in the actual Normandy, the windows on the outside model don't fit the windows on the inside. And there's that slight gap between the indoor windows and the outdoor windows. So I just thought, you know what, screw it. I'll just put in an interior wall, put the windows facing the wrong way so you can't see out, and just pretend. Here I put in catwalks as the floor, so that there'd be more room for the ceiling and stuff. Because the war room is kind of sunk down into the ground, but I didn't want to take up any of the below deck space, so I used catwalks as they were thin. Here I tried to simulate the hologram area, and I used these hologram things from this hologram mod. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, the crucible would normally go there in the game. I tried to make it look jazzy, but end up just putting pipes everywhere from the interior decoration mod, I believe. Don't know where we are now. Oh yes, we're under the dining room area. Oh, and we're outside again. Trying to tidy up these bits. And we're indoors again! Aren't I just the best at making things easier to watch? I think we're doing the captain's cabin now. Shepherd's cabin. Yep, here we go. Putting in the lift and expanding into his room. Putting down a room for, putting his consoles in, and then putting shelves as a replacement for, oh yeah, I broke that. Whoops! Replacement for the spaceship shelves. And here I put in his bathroom. And I had a problem with that, so I had to use catwalks as the walls and stuff. Just expanding his room out, putting it down a level, because that's how it happens. Putting pipes in to simulate that weird area just outside between the lift and the cabin. I don't know where we are anymore. Oh, Right, we're back in the CIC level. Putting down some decoration and stuff. And just put walls in, putting consoles around the edge. And there was a toilet for some reason. Why does that toilet keep coming up? I guess I love toilets. And just making the room look a bit more natural, as you can in Space Engineers. I am not the best at interior design, even when I'm copying. And you'd think, doing art and shit, I would be able to design things, but don't tell anyone. How at the back? Oh right, no, this is at the front. We're trying to do the hollow area, the hologrammatic area, where the Normandy hologram is. And of course we don't have a Normandy hologram or a galaxy map. So I mess around with these planet holograms and end up just putting a solar system where the Normandy would be. For some reason. I put these holograms on little pillars so you can see them. I am least proud of this room. I don't like this room at all because it doesn't look like the real thing. Which is funny because it's really the centerpiece of the entire ship. But never mind. Outside again! Oh yeah, this is when I looked at my model and I realised there was this slight ridge around here. So I just did that. Anything to get away from the interiors because I didn't like it. This is the small fin at the front. And here I go with the colour scheme. So the Normandy has a few colours. It has black, grey, blue and white. And I didn't want to paint the whole thing white, so I left it this grey colour. And just put these stripes of blue, black and grey in it. And they kind of get larger as they go towards the top and then fan out. But the black keeps on going as a line and then swoops up in this weird arc shape, which I was doing here, and yeah, it goes all the way to the back. Had to replace some blocks so that the colour was consistent. And then here's the arch, and just colouring in all these bits grey or blacky grey, sort of. Yeah, most of the engines are grey, but the bits at the back are black. And then there's a white bit at the front of the larger engine pod thing. Still don't know what to call it. There was this blue triangle there, and I don't know if I kept that or not. I wasn't very happy with it. Just using the control key to paint large areas at the same time. Put this stripe of blue in. I tried to write SR2 on the side with the Alliance sign, but there just wasn't enough room. And I put in these bits of white to represent silver detailing on. I wasn't too happy with them, so I got rid of most of it, just left some bits on. Went back up with the dark grey. Just putting all these details in. And then putting some more silver bits on, and finished off with some blue. It's a shame I can't put writing on the sides of these blocks because there's a lot of Alliance symbols and SR2 symbols. And yeah, then I come underneath, and that was not a sexual reference, Tom. Just talking to Tom there in the future, who may be watching this video, because Tom loves to say that's what she said. But anyway, if you don't know who Tom is, check out LKT, which is our joint channel with me, Lewis and Tom, and we do best bits of each of our channels. I don't think I've actually advertised this on this channel before, just so you know. But no one's probably in fucking words. Anyway, where are we now? Yes, I am trying to do the cockpit, I believe. No, we're in Garrus's calibrations room, the main weapons battery, which doesn't do shit. Oh, Garrus. What an asshole. No, everyone loves Garrus. So here I come with the, I tried to make Legion's little computer core area here, and then there's the Doctor's area, and here I'm making Liara's Shadow Broker bastard room. And I didn't know about these things before, but there's these screens that give you epilepsy. That's a description. Yeah, just dicking around with the interiors, putting lights in now. Ooh, ice cream. Where is it? Ice cream. Where's it going? Oh, it's going away. Anyway, back in the war room with lights. Oh, I put in Hackett's little hologram area there. More lights. Lights everywhere. I don't like the lights in Space Engineers. They don't seem to emit enough light. There's the cockpit, which I may or may not have done before. Alright, here I go, putting the beds in for the Doctor's area. Dr. Chocolates. Putting in observation lounge stuff, and I really don't like these rooms. That's where the poker table should be, but it just didn't work out. And the bathrooms. The male and female bathrooms. That was one thing I didn't like about Mass Effect 3. In Mass Effect 2, you could go into the male or female bathrooms if you were the opposite sex, and ED would go, "Shame on you, Shepard." But in Mass Effect 3, you're not allowed in. I mean, Shepard's got a perv. He's commander of his own bloody ship. Anyway, crew quarters here. I just realised that made me sound like a pervert. I'm not a pervert. Shepard is. Just to put that out. Anyway. Doing observation rooms, below decks. Oh, and we're done. See ya. So there we have it. The Normandy SR2 from Mass Effect 3. Yeah, I'm not so keen on some of the design choices I made in this. The size was a bit too big for the interiors, and the interiors did not look their best. But overall, I am proud of this build, as it captures the overall aesthetic of the ship. So, thank you for suggesting Normandy. Wait, can I actually fly this thing? Oh shit, there's no gyroscopes in it. Yes. There are no gyroscopes or forward-facing thrusters in this ship, or any facing thrusters. Actually, there's only backwards-facing thrusters. So, this thing can't fly, which may be a problem. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll just go and do a little showcase of it. So yeah, this is the hangar. We've got the hangar here, where the Makos and the Kodiaks would be docked. It is a bit larger than I would have hoped. Not like the ship requisitions and shit. And James Vega's manly workout studio would be over there. Because stereotypes. Up here we have the engine. Oh, frack. So we're in the lift, and then we missile stop. Here we go. This is the engineering deck. I haven't put anything in here yet because I have no idea what those rooms look like, and I can't be asked to look them up. I am tired. Down here we have this weird alcovey bit where you find the models, and Jack gets dumped if you ever pick her up. In here, the engineering room, which I'm not sure it looks entirely like that. And here we have the magnificent core, which totally looks legit. What the frack? Oh right, that's on top. Yeah, this should be a round room with lots of weird gadgets and stuff, but I just couldn't be bothered. Aren't I good? So let's take a look around this thing. Lovely blue lights, because that's how it looks in the game. Yeah. let's go to the next floor, which is the crew lounge. Yes. So we've got the central bit with the bar and the chef's area. This is a lot bigger than it should be. Up here we've got Garrus's calibration room with the 2 guns. Should never do shit. Here we've got Liara's shadow broker area, bed and stuff. It's hard to recreate these rooms in Space Engineers. It takes a lot of skill, and I think I should have used smaller blocks and merged them in, but who can be bothered with that? Here we have the doctor's room, the med bay, whatever you want to call it, and in here the computer core, which again is a bit slapdash with only one side of computer things, and that's where Legion sleeps, on a table, because Legion loves tables. Okay, so over here we have the crew area where you can look over into the engine room, and I know this room is a lot smaller in the game, and this window is basically one panel instead of a whole wall of them, but don't tell anyone. Oh, I got stuck on a sofa. Through here we have the starboard. Wait, thing faces that way. So this is the port observation lounge. Yeah, it's pretty boring. And then we go over to perhaps the worst room in the entire ship. Look how crap it is. This is meant to be a card playing table, and yeah, it didn't work out well. The interior of the ship is a lot smaller compared to the actual exterior of the ship, but don't tell anyone, even though the rooms are massive, and the ship isn't even the size it should be. So in the game, either the interiors are massively scaled wrong, or the measurements I've been looking at are wrong, or the Normandy just has a lot of armor in between the outside and the inside, which you can see by actually looking through the windows, because there's like a gap between the inside. On Mass Effect, if you look out the window of the Normandy, or any window really, there's the inner window, then there's this big space with just nothing in it, which I believe is some sort of crumple zone type technique, or ablative armor or whatever, that like stops the inside from jiggling, or I don't know, some more technical bullshit. But anyway, yeah, that's probably what's happened. This is the CIC. Again, the blocks are too big here. You can't see into the hologram area, and I don't think that these consoles should be that far down into the ground. But again, it's Space Engineers, what can you do? Here we got this corridor thing leading up to the cockpit, which doesn't have any lights in it. This doesn't look anything like cockpit. And then we've got the airlock with shit all in it. If I did put this up on the workshop, I would just have a big paragraph saying, please strip out the interior and make it your own, because this is just super crap. So here we have the useless alcove, which makes everyone annoyed because there used to be a room behind there. Why the hell is a block missing? I do not understand. Sometimes I just... oh, for fuck's sake. Why does Space Engineers do that now? I clicked 9, man. I clicked 9. Okay. Anyway. Back here we have this room with the 2 annoying ladies that just chat about shit. I couldn't find anything for the force field. Then we have the conference area, which again is massive compared to it. Then we have this random crap, and here we have the whatever it's called, the thing. You know what it is. Where there would be a big crucible there, but you know the mod for holograms didn't have crucible. And here we have that area where you talk to Hackett, and they say, Admiral Hackett is on VidCom, is available. So you're like, wait, is he available or does he want to speak to me? Because you go up, you're like, oh, I hate wasting my time with this guy. You talk to him and he says, "What's up, Commander?" And you're like, you didn't want to talk to me. So yeah, hi Hackett, goodbye Hackett, you twat. Actually, it's trainer's fault. Blame trainer. If you haven't played Mass Effect 3 and you're going to, don't waste your time romancing Trainer if you're a male, because she's a lesbian. Yeah, I wasted a lot of time on that. So up here we have Le Captain's cabin. Is that what the hell is this? Oh right, that goes into the bathroom. Yeah, so here we have that random space. Fish tank with no fish in it. Okay, we've got these are meant to resemble his spaceship collection, because why not? Got his toilet, Shepard's little shower thing that is actually open shower. This room is too big. This room is just too big. But anyway, this should be his armor locker and all that. But nah, whatever. Let's get a Kodiak and fly out of here. If we had a Kodiak, that would be great. So, oh, that's why I was on the bridge. That's why I was on the bridge. I forgot. I'm coming for you, Joker. Woo! Nope, that was my stop. Get in there. Get in there. Right. Oh, shit. Wrong way. Whee! Okay. Here we go. Oh, it's got the Star Trek logo. Well, what do you know? V. Oh my god, this thing is massive. You can't even fit it on the screen. So, yeah, that's the Normandy. I quite like the outside, except these bits here, where I tried to increase the height of different blocks, and it just, nah. From a distance, it doesn't look too bad. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you, and you will see me, or you will hear me, in whatever comes next. Whee! Guten Tag, Vater. No, what am I talking about? I'm talking complete and utter bollocks. I'd like to thank Dark Horse for allowing me to purchase their Normandy model, which I used to model this off. Oh, for Christ's sake! Almost just goodbye, goodbye.